The tide came in the morning without asking. She stood barefoot where the water broke. He saw her from the shore and stopped mid-sentence and lost the thread of everything he spoke. The sky ran wide above the two of them. She tilted back her face into the light. He memorized the way she stood that instant and carried it all through the coming night. The air between them shifted without warning, the kind of shift that changes how you see. She felt it land somewhere below her ribs and didn't know what that was going to be. That summer cracked him open at the shoreline, a heat that pressed against his chest and stayed. She turned and caught him looking without cover, and neither one looked down or looked away. That summer pressed its hand against the daylight, a pull that grew too certain to ignore. She walked back up the beach without an answer and felt the summer closing every door. The tide came in, the shore held still. That was where it all began. Across the yard in September's first morning, he leaned against the wall and watched her pass. She carried books like carrying a secret, and left him standing still behind the glass. He took the long way just to walk behind her. She never turned to check if he was near. He counted every step between the lockers and swallowed every word he kept in fear. The distance wasn't measured, but he felt it, a gap too wide to cross without a sign. She moved through every room like she owned daylight, and left him standing on the wrong side of the line. The girl across the hall made mornings harder, a pull that hit him somewhere past his brushed against his shoulder without seeing, and he rebuilt his whole world where she lives. The girl across the hall walked through him daily, a fire that pressed against his careful chest. He stood inside the corridor she left in, and knew he'd never be the kind she dressed. The hall ran long, the morning broke. She never knew he watched.
She pulled the flats off Tuesday after breakfast and stood before the mirror in the nude. She practiced walking taller in the hallway and told herself the change was overdue. She pinned her hair the way she saw in magazines. She laughed a pitch above her natural range. He passed her in the corridor, not pausing, and something in her chest began to strange. The girl inside the mirror kept on watching, the one who wore the heels and fixed her face. She pressed her palms against the glass and studied a stranger standing in her usual place. She changed herself and lost the thread that held her. A girl rebuilt from someone else's eye. He never asked and never saw the difference, and she forgot the reason she would try. She changed herself and found the floor unsteady, a version built on ground that wouldn't last. She stood inside the skin she'd stitched for someone and ached for every piece she'd left behind her past. The mirror faced the wall, the heels sat cold. She changed for him, he never knew.
He leaned against the fence in worn-out leather. She crossed the yard in white without a glance. He tracked her path beneath his half-closed eyelids and told himself he'd never get the chance. She felt his gaze before she saw him standing a weight that pressed against her afternoon. She kept her eyes ahead and kept on walking, and found herself back at that fence too soon. The gap between their worlds ran deep and jagged, the kind that years of living carve in stone. She traced the edge of it without approaching, and he stood on his side of it alone. The leather and the lace kept circling closer, a current pulling hard against the grain. She turned her back and felt the pull grow stronger, and crossed the yard the long way home again. The leather and the lace pressed up against each other, a tension neither dared to push or break. He watched her go and lit a cigarette slowly, and burned it down for both their stubborn sake. The fence ran cold, the yard went dark, the gap stayed wide between them. Climbed the bleachers after everyone had scattered. He was already sitting near the top. She took the row below him without asking, and neither made a move to make it stop. He talked about the stars above the field. She pulled her knees up close against the chill. He pointed at a constellation fading, and felt her lean in just a fraction still. The darkness gave them cover for the truth, the kind that daylight burns away too fast. She let her shoulder press against the bleacher, and prayed the night would be the kind that lasts. The bleachers after dark held back the morning, a gravity that drew them by degrees. He turned to her and caught her already watching, and felt the autumn drop below his knees.
The bleachers after dark kept something burning, a current neither named nor pushed away.
She rose to leave and paused upon the last step,
and left behind the thing she meant to say.
The field ran dark,
the stars held still.
she never said it on the way down.
while everyone ran inward, the rain came down and she just let it fall. He watched her from behind the gymnasium window and pressed his palm flat against the wall. She tilted up her face and closed her eyelids. The water traced a line across her jaw. He fogged the glass with breath he wasn't counting and memorized the girl that no one saw. The window kept him inches from the moment, a pane of glass between him and the rain. He raised his fist to knock and stopped mid-motion and watched her standing in it all again. The rain came down on Sandy standing open, a current pressing hard against his chest. He could have gone outside and stood beside her, but chose the glass and left her to the rest. The rain came down and drew a line between them, a river neither crossed before it dried. She walked back in and shook the water from her, and never knew he watched from just inside. The rain moved on, the glass stayed cold. He never stepped outside for her.
He called her just a girl he met that summer. The words came out before he caught their weight. His friends laughed hard and slapped him on the shoulder, and something in his jaw locked up too late. She heard it through a friend who heard it sideways. She folded up the hurt and put it down. He saw her face go flat across the corridor and wore his reputation like a crown. The jacket kept him prisoner that morning, the image built too high to climb back from. He watched her turn away without an argument and stood inside the silence he'd become. Too cool to say, it cost him more than posture, a price that landed somewhere past his pride. He tracked her down the hallway after classes and found no words to pull her back inside. Too cool to say, carved a space between them, a canyon dug by 3 words thrown away. He stood upon the edge of it at midnight and paid for every syllable that day. The jacket hung, the words stayed buried. He never found his way back from that morning. The movie ran till no one was watching. She kept her eyes fixed on the screen. He rested both his hands upon the steering wheel and let the silence sit between. The speaker clicked off somewhere in the middle. She didn't move to say the night was done. He checked the clock and found no good reason, and neither reached for anyone. The engine idled low against the darkness. She traced a line across the fogged up glass. He watched the other cars begin to empty and let the last good moment pass. The drive-in lot went dark row after row. She gathered up her jacket from the floor. He nodded like he understood the ending, and neither said what either said before. The lot ran empty in the rearview mirror, a screen gone dark against the August air. He watched her walk the path up to her doorway and drove away from everything back there. The screen went dark, the lot ran still. He never went back after that.
She carried him the whole ride back from summer, a picture drawn in heat and open days. He turned up at the first bell like a carbon of every boy who learned to wear a face. He leaned against the wall beside his circle. She slowed her step and studied what she saw. The laugh was his, but aimed at someone different. pressed two fingers to the place below her, the spot where summer lived and wouldn't fade. He caught her eye and nodded like a stranger, and everything she'd built began to cave. The boy she thought she knew had shed his August, replaced himself before the leaves came down. She stood inside the gap between two people and wore her disappointment like a crown. The boy she thought she knew kept right on walking, a version she had never been offered. She turned and faced the length of the new semester and buried what the summer had delivered. The bell rang out, the crowd moved on. She let him go before he knew she'd held him.
He looked for her in every familiar corner, the girl who laughed beside him in the sun. But she had found a way of standing taller and wouldn't come undone for anyone. She passed him in the corridor without flinching. He slowed his step but couldn't place her name. The August girl had grown into her own skin, and nothing in her posture looked the same. The one he pictured wasn't who he found here. The door he left, it opened somewhere else. He stood inside the gap between two versions and pulled the summer down from off the shelf. The girl he left had somewhere new to stand now, a ground he didn't recognize or know. He reached back for the one who used to wait there and found the space where she refused to go. The girl he left had turned and faced the morning, a light he didn't put there and couldn't claim. He stood beside the locker where he'd known her and loved her more for never being the same. The corridor ran long, the light held firm. She was never going back to who she was. Ferris wheel cut circles in the evening. She bought her ticket standing in the line. He found her at the bottom without planning, and neither made a move to redefine. The music pushed against the cooling air. She won a prize and held it without pride. He fell in step beside her through the stalls, and both forgot the space they kept inside. The colored bulbs ran long above their heads, the kind of light that softens every edge. She turned to him and caught him undefended, and both stood teetering upon the ledge. The carnival pulled them close without a reason, a current running under all the noise. She let him take the prize she'd won and carry, and heard her own heart through the fairground's voice. The bulbs burned low above the emptying stalls. He took her hand between the last two rides, and held it till the final curtain falls. The bulbs went out, the stalls packed up. He held her hand, and neither let it go.
He saw her standing different in the courtyard. The way she held herself had changed its tone. She wasn't asking anyone for balance, and carried every step completely on her own. She passed him at the gate without a falter. He matched her pace, then let her pull ahead. She turned once at the far end of the pathway, and smiled the kind that leaves no room for dread. Before he named it, a truth that pressed against his open hands. She moved through every room like she'd been freed now, and he began to finally understand. He watched her go and felt the ground grow firmer. A weight he'd carried lifted erupting from his chest. She didn't need his hand to find her footing, and loving her meant giving her the rest. He watched her go and found it didn't break him. Her eyes that filled the space where fear had been. She walked into the life that had been waiting, and he stood back and let the light come in. The gate swung wide, the path ran clear. He let her go, that was the love.
They stood beside the car without a compass. The road ahead ran longer than it looked. She smoothed her dress and neither spoke of leaving, and both refused to read the final page of the book. The crowd had thinned to voices in the distance. He reached across and took her by the hand. She looked at him and found the summer in him, and felt the two of them begin to land. The road ahead had never asked for courage. The two of them had never asked for proof. She pressed her shoulder into his and waited, and felt the future loosen from its roof. They were always going somewhere without knowing, a pull that drew them past the edge of fear. She turned to face the road that had no ending, and found that going somewhere meant right here. They were always going somewhere, and that's steady, a truth that neither one had stopped to name. She stood beside the one who never wavered, and found the road and everything the same. The road ran long, the two stood still. They were always going somewhere together.